Human evolution number 1, walking tall. Today's topic is walking upright. About 6 million years ago, a new sort of ape set foot on the African savanna, something very different than the other apes that came before it. Evolution, it seemed, was conducting an experiment with these simple primates. Something very strange indeed was happening in eastern Africa. A short chimp-like ape called Australopithecus africanus with a tiny brain took its first steps across the African grassland, one of our earliest ancestors to ever walk the earth. And that, my students, is key. Our ancestors did something most other apes didn't do. We walked across the earth. If we compare humans to our ape cousins, we do something they do not. We walk upright. We are the only living member of the primate family that does this as its main form of transportation. Now, the question many paleoanthropologists have asked is, why? What is the benefit of walking upright? I mean, most apes like chimps, gorillas, and orangutans walk on all fours when on the ground. With this in mind, there must have been a really good reason why the Australopithecus would develop bipedalism, or walking on two legs. Otherwise, why would they have developed that at all? There are a number of competing theories on the subject, and one of the most common is called the traveling efficiency hypothesis. Now, Mother Nature doesn't like to waste energy, and our ancestors were no exception. There have been a number of studies done on humans, chimps, and gorillas walking. In one such study, members of all three species were placed on a treadmill and walked the same distance at the same speed, and their body fat content was measured before and after the experiment. The researchers found that walking upright uses 25% less energy than walking on all fours when traveling longer distances. In a world where food was rare, every calorie counts, making upright walking very useful. Another interesting theory is called the postural feeding hypothesis, and it relates not to using food more efficiently, it instead relates to being able to get more. We know the Australopithecus evolved on the edge of the African savanna, and interestingly, in that sort of area, there would be many fruit trees, as there are today. To this day, fruit remains a favorite food of all members of the ape family, and being taller would allow our ancestors to reach more food higher in the trees. More food often means more offspring. So maybe over the millennia, the act of stretching up for the fruit in the trees favored the apes that spent more time walking upright. One final theory is called the warning display model. This model suggests that walking upright offered a defensive advantage to the Australopithecines. Walking upright gives the animal a further line of sight in the tall grasslands. This would be very useful in avoiding predators. If you've ever watched any survival shows on TV, you probably know what to do when you see a mountain lion. Make yourself as big and noisy as possible. Typically, the animal will instinctively run away when it perceives something to be aggressive and larger than itself. Now, there were lions on the African savanna millions of years ago, just as there are today. And in fact, similar techniques are used by the Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert today. So I put it to you, which of these theories seems to be the most likely and why? Or maybe you have your own ideas about why we walk the way we do. And that's great. Feel free to post them in the blog section of this website under the right heading. I look forward to reading your ideas. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in class.